Iran's the biggest country in the region. And you're saying they're not allowed to project their sphere of influence, their sphere of interest, that the only ones that can is Israel, this tiny little pathetic strip of land? They're the only ones who get to project power, project it. Iran can't.
Iran, with this current regime, would ever really stick?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know one thing. They want to make a deal. They wouldn't talk to anybody else, but they're talking to me. But, you know, it's a good question. A lot of people say no. And I would say that I'd rather make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. No nuclear weapons, no missiles, no this, no that, all the different things that you want. But some people worry that they've been very dishonest with us over the years, right? Very dishonest. Obama and Biden, what they did in terms of creating a monster with Iran was terrible. That Iran nuclear deal was one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen.
They want to make a deal. As soon as he talks like that, you know they don't want to make a deal. That's just him trying to sound impressive. First of all, deal. Karen Knissel is the former Austrian foreign minister who today lives in St. Petersburg, Russia. And she heads what's called the Gorky Institute. She hates the term deal. She calls it the language of the mafia. The mafioso make a deal. Criminals make deals. Deals are meant to be broken, and they are broken continuously. Gentlemen make agreements, and nations make treaties. And Donald Trump doesn't talk about agreements or treaties. A deal. They want to make a deal. No, they don't. They're only going to talk to me. No, they talk to everybody. They talked to Biden. They made a deal with Obama. It had to be a deal because Congress wouldn't ratify a treaty. And look what happened. The deal got broken. Donald Trump can't keep a deal because it's a deal. A deal is not a two-way street. Yeah. A deal is a one-way street. Listen to Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm ready to make a deal, but they got to commit suicide by giving up their missiles. They got to neuter themselves by saying that they're not politically relevant in a region. I mean, what stupidity. Iran's the biggest country in the region. And you're saying they're not allowed to project their sphere of influence, their sphere of interest, that the only ones that can is Israel, this tiny little pathetic strip of land? They're the only ones who get to project power, project it. Iran can't. It's stupid. And then, you know, nuclear. Nuclear was a bad deal. You don't know anything about that deal. I tell you, Donald Trump is a stupid man, a fundamentally stupid man. He might have some inherent, you know, business common sense, and he might have, you know, he has the bully's appreciation of diplomacy. I mean, even a bully knows when he wakes up in the morning. If I go to the playground and I posture big, little Tommy might back up and not, you know, and do what I want. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. You know, but one day you're going to go to the playground and posture and Tommy's going to go, bam. Now what does a bully do? Because you know, his brain don't work. Donald Trump is a physical and moral coward. Just telling you right now, a physical and moral coward. Couldn't win a fist fight. Well, first of all, he's too old to fight. But back in the day when he said how he could take Joe Biden back and whip him, no, you couldn't because you're a coward. I'm not saying Biden would beat you up because I think Biden was a coward too. But the point is, one day you're going to say something. And one thing, back when I used to hang out with Delta Force, you know, I was taught one thing in a bar, and a biker bar, where we left because bikers were getting loud and boisterous, and they were walking out. And I said, why are we leaving? I said, we could take it. I said, Scott, we got security clearances that would get pulled the second we got into a bar fight. Okay. We don't exist to get in bar fights. We don't exist to posture tough for these people. We exist to do a mission. And these people are making it uncomfortable. We leave. Then he said, but the other thing, and this guy was very physically fit. He said, it's a good lesson for you. Every bar you walk into, just assume that there's one person in the bar that can kick your ass, and you have no idea who it is. And if you treat everybody as if they can kick your ass, you'll avoid getting into a lot of trouble. Donald Trump is a coward. He's not that smart. He's a physical coward. He's a moral coward. He will never do the right thing. He's a greedy, greedy, greedy man. He's also an out-of-control narcissist. I mean, renaming the Trump Kennedy Center. I mean, this is a mental illness. Making a phone call to Schumer to get The Moynihan train station renamed the Donald Trump train station. I forget what else he wanted to get renamed. He's a narcissist. I mean, everything. I mean, if I said Zanguzar corridor to you, you'd know what that is. But do you recognize it as what the heck do they call it? The Trump TRIPP, whatever, prosperity plan or something. Why does Trump's name have to be on it? Because this is all he knows. He's the bully that he's a brander. You know, but when before he ran for president the first term, if you took the train into New York City, or you drove into New York City, as you're coming down the Henry Hudson Highway or whatever, there were a series of buildings there before you got to, you know, around the 58th Street, and they all had Trump on it. You know, Trump Tower, Trump this, Trump that, Trump Palace, Trump, 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 Trump. And you're thinking, wow, Donald Trump owns a lot of property. He didn't own shit. Excuse my language. He just branded it. He told people, you can use my name, and they put Trump on there, and then they can increase their rents by so much, and then he gets a percentage of it. That's his. So right now he's around branding everything. This is the president of the United States branding things, not saying the American deal. I mean, I can understand, you know, the American peace plan. All right, got a ring to it. You know, America did this. The American Kennedy senator. All right, I could go for that. America, good. But he doesn't care about America. He doesn't care about America. He cares. This is a cult of personality, literally in every way, shape, or form, a cult of personality. Now we come back to where we started at the beginning. If people don't understand this, you're too stupid to live. If the Iranians don't understand they're dealing with a dictator who operates as a cult of personality, you're not dealing with an American president. No American president operates this way. No American president should operate this way. And hopefully after the end of this disaster, if we can survive, no American president will operate this way. Congress needs to take control. But this is a cult of personality. This is a sick man, a mentally ill man. And the consequences could be dire, You know, he is boxing America into corners with his mouth. I mean, everywhere. Greenland. I'm going to invade Greenland. No, you're not. Now I got to find an off-ramp because I talk too much. You know, Iran. Look at the Iranians. They called his bluff on everything. You're going to meet in Istanbul. No, we're not. Did you hear the State Department spokesperson when they confronted with that? We never thought the Iranians would say no. Really? You didn't think the Iranians would say no? You think you have leverage over Iran? You think you have any leverage over Iran? You have no leverage over Iran. None. The only leverage Iran has is the leverage it has over itself. The responsibility of a government that cares about its people enough to try and avoid a war. You know, the Iranians would have every right now to take Israel off the face of the earth, citing preemptive self-defense. Article 51, the Caroline Doctrine, Iran right now could justify and get away with it to take Israel out because Israel's made threats. Iran could sink the Abraham Lincoln and blow up all the American facilities in the region and say, we have a right. Because Trump is saying, I'm going to hit you. I'm bombing you. I'm getting ready to bomb you. Well, does Iran have to sit there and wait for the United States to bomb? The imminence of the threat has been manifested by the expressions of the commander-in-chief. But Iran doesn't do that. Why? Because Iran knows the following. They will inflict horrific harm on Israel, and they will inflict horrific harm on the Americans, but horrific harm will be inflicted on the Iranian people. And so the Iranian people are fortunate to have a government that loves them enough not to get them involved in a war that can be avoided by pretending to engage in diplomacy with a nation that doesn't even know what diplomacy is anymore. We don't know what diplomacy is anymore. We don't practice it.